So when I say q greater than half, so we have mod equals 0 as well as median is equal to 0. So q ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ x equals mod ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. q ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ರೆ x is equal to 1. ಅಂದ್ರೆ p less than half ಇದ್ರೆ x 0 mod, p greater than half ಇದ್ರೆ x is equal to 1 is median. So we always talk in terms of p because p is called as parameter. So that's why we call that constant on which the distribution is dependent as the parameter. Because if we know that particular value, all the properties of the distribution would be easily obtained. Now try to remember all these properties what we have just derived in terms of the value p, or in terms of the notation p. So we'll summarize that and we take that as the properties of the Bernoulli distribution. We see some problems. Bernoulli distribution, usually we use small d. So first thing, the PMF is given by p of x is equal to x equals p to the power of x 1 minus p to the power of 1 minus x for x equals 0 1 and p within 0 and 1 and 0 otherwise. Then range of the distribution of the variable is just two values, x is equal to 0 as well as 1. And then looking to the parameters, it has one parameter, that is p, called as probability of success of a trial. And then we have mean is equal to p, variance equals pq, standard deviation equals root pq, mod equals 0 if p less than half, mod equals 1 if p greater than half, median equals 0 if p less than half, median equals 1 if p greater than half. Okay, then ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಬೇಗ ಬೇಗ ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. If p less than half, distribution is positively skewed or right skewed. If p greater than half, distribution is negatively skewed or say beta 1 less than 0. If p equals half, distribution is symmetric. Beta 2, beta 1 equal to 0. Now what will 1 minus 6 greater than 0, 1 by 6 greater than p. And sixth property, if p greater than 1 by 6, then we have distribution to be leptokurtic, or we observe beta 2 gamma 2 greater than 0. And alternatively beta 2 will be greater than 3. And similarly, if p less than 6, distribution is bradycardic, and p equal to 1 by 6, distribution is normal or So confused. Okay. And then that important PGF and MGF. MGF is mx of p is equal to q plus p e power p, and PGF is q plus p s. And lastly, we have the distribution function CDF f of x is equal to 0, q1 or 1 minus p. So for x below 0, 0 to 1 and more than 1. So these are the properties of the Bernoulli distribution. To summarize everything in one. So this is what we do for all the distributions. So we'll give some PMF, we'll understand how that comes, what are the cases, how X is defined and so on, and we'll derive the values of these measures generally in terms of the parameters. And then what we do in the practical classes will give you a distribution with different values of P. So the parameter values will be different in each of the problem. You have to just evaluate some of the properties which are already derived, or you have to look into the numerical problems of finding some of the probabilities. ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇದು? Let us take into some problems. State the PMF. State the PMF of Bernoulli distribution with P equals 1 by 3 in mean variance and MGF plus beta 1 and gamma 2. So no derivations, nothing, directly we'll use the results. So we have been given that this Bernoulli distribution has its probability of success or parameter is equal to 1 by 3. Now we have to write the distribution. We know that the PMF is given by p to the power of x 1 minus p to the power of 1 minus x with x equal 0, 1 and p between 0 and 1. So what we do is we just substitute for the value of p here. So p is equal to 1 by 3. So the PMF becomes 1 by 3 to the power of x, and 1 minus p will be 1 minus 1 by 3, which is 2 by 3. So 2 by 3 to the power of 1 minus x, with x taking 0 and 1. Now we will not write 0 less than p less than 1, because we are talking about a particular case where p is equal to 1 by 3 and 0 for other values of x. So this is the PMF. So state the PMF and then obtain mean and variance. So we have mean. The formula of mean is p, which is 1 by 3. Now variance is pq or p into 1 minus p. So it will be 1 by 3 into 2 by 3, which is equal to 2 by 9 or 0.22. Standard deviation is square root of this, which comes to 2 is 0.4 something. Complete that. And then MGF beta 1 and gamma 2. MGF is q plus p e power t. So this will be 2 by 3 plus 1 by 3 e power t, which could be simply written as 2 plus e power t by 3. Now only Bernoulli distribution has the EMF in the form of Q plus B e power t. So if I give you two constants where one is the coefficient of e power t, other one is just a constant, such that the total of those two is equal to 1, and if you have just two terms in the MGF, then it is very much clear that the distribution is Bernoulli and the given MGF is of Bernoulli, and the coefficient of e power t will be the probability of success. So we'll solve some problems on that also. Now compute beta 1 as well as gamma 2 of beta 1. What was the formula for beta 1? Simplify, multiply into 2pq into 1 minus 2p now. This is what we had got, beta 1. So this will be 2 into 1 by 3, 2 by 3, 1 minus 2 by 3. Two p 2 into. Sorry, na beta 1 ite the. You can tell me what is beta 1? Sorry, Dia. I didn't hear your answer. What is beta 1? Is beta 1 correct?
Sir, 4 half minus p square divided by pq wala sir.
Half minus
P square, p the whole square.
p square ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು. ನಾನು ಈಗ ಡಿರೈವ್
P the,
ಮಾಡ್ತಲ್ಲ
sir, half minus p square.
ಇದು
Sir, 4 into 1 by 2 minus
4 into half minus p the whole square.
beta 1 ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು.
Sir, beta 1 is sir
Half minus p
whole square
divided
Into
by
into
4
4
into 4 divided
into
by
4
pq.
sir,
into 4 divided by pq.
by pq.
So this will be 4 into half minus p is 1 by 3 whole square by 1 by 3, 2 by 3. So simplify and comment on the squareness and curvature. Okay, we'll take one more problem. Identify the MGF and hence write EMF, sketch of EMF, mean and variance. how to identify the distribution based on the MGF. So you have to remember the MGF of all the distributions. Now the MGF for a Bernoulli distribution is of the form Q plus P e power T. So ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಏನಿರಬೇಕು ಒಂದು e power t ಇರಬೇಕು. E power t the coefficient ಏನಿದೆ that is always P probability of success. You will have another term in the MGF which is always Q. So how to check it is MGF of the Bernoulli? We know that total probability comes to P plus Q and P plus Q should be equal to 1. So if this is satisfied by the MGF, only then it becomes the MGF of Bernoulli. Otherwise, it is the MGF of some other distribution. Now, if I take the first case here, so I have mx of t given as 1 plus e power t by 2. So I can write this as half plus half e power t. So I can say p is equal to half, q is equal to half, so that p plus q comes to 1. So this is the distribution MGF. The distribution is Bernoulli with p equals half. And remember, whenever you write a distribution, you have to state the value of the parameter. So we have identified the distribution to be Bernoulli and we got p equals half. Therefore, PMF becomes p of x is equal to x is equal to half to the power of x, half to the power of 1 minus x. If you simplify this, and this is a special case, so it just becomes equal to half. So what I mean is, when you have p and q is equal to half, the probability becomes x is equal to 0. P of x equals 0 is half, p of x is equal to 1 is half. So you can observe that from the PMF also. Now since half is the common base, you'll have half to the power of x plus 1 minus x, which becomes half to the power of 1. So this is a special case, and hence we say the distribution is symmetric, because if you look into the sketch of the PMF, so both for x is equal to 0 and 1, so you have the distribution, the probability histogram is equal to this. So if you look into the curve somewhat like this, you have curve like this, a symmetric curve, and therefore the modes are both 0 as well as 1, because both have the highest probability. And median here we say it is 1 because we slightly say p of x should be equal to half. In that case, yeah, we take median also to be equal to 0. Now writing the f of x, mean and variance. So f of x.
Sir, median is to sir.
Median.
Sir, median is to.
Median is half, because this is the case where you have the probability to be exactly equal to half. So we say the value of x satisfying the condition f of x less than or equal to x is 0.5, and we are observing the very first probability itself to be equal to 0.5. So when you look into the f of x also, you'll get x is equal to 0 as the median. So cumulative probability is ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? First value half, then second value 1 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So where you have distribution function exactly equal to half, the first value, what is the value of x? That is 0. Therefore, median is also equal to 0. Now writing f of x in the required format, we'll have 0, and I know it is 1 minus p, ಅಥವಾ cumulative probabilities ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ direct ಆಗಿ 0 1 half for x below 0, from 0 to 1 and greater than 1. So the sketch of f of x ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, that will be like this. So you have x equals 0 and 1 with probabilities taking half and 1. So below 0 we'll have the f of x to be this. Then at 1 it jumps to half and it takes up to 1, And as soon as we reach 1, it takes 1 and goes up to infinity. So this is the sketch of your f of x, and then mean and variance. So we know that mean is equal to p, variance equals pq. So mean equals p equals half, variance equals pq, which becomes 0.2. Now similarly, try and evaluate the next two cases. Identify p, see that whether p plus q equals 1, then you can say it is the MGF of Bernoulli. So we have one more form of problem, and I'll wind up this. Okay, variance of Bernoulli is 0.18 with p greater than q. Obtain the distribution properties. So ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ವೇರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಪಿ ಕ್ಯೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. Now use the result on the variance, and also they have said p greater than q. So use those two conditions and see what you get as the value of p. Once you get the value of p, you can come up with some of the important properties. PMFO, f of x, if possible, their sketches, then write MGF, mean and variance, as well as beta 1 and beta 2. So that's to read it, that is sufficient. Okay. So I'll stop here. Next class will be on Saturday. Saturday I could start the next distribution. Logout agbeedi, attendance ತಗೋತೀನಿ. ಇನ್ನು ಸುಮಾರು ಜನ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಡೇ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಹೆಸರು ಮುಂದೆ, ಅದೊಂದು ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಬೇರೆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗೂ ಅದು ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು? ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆಯಾ?